All right, going to go ahead and do a quick disassembly and reassembly video tutorial on the Bul Armory SASII Tac Pro 5-inch. This is the V8 ported version, as you can see here. The tutorial is pretty straightforward as far as the takedown goes, so I'll go ahead and get right into it here. So obviously first step here is just to make sure the gun is clear, so I'll do a quick safety check there. You can see that the chamber and breech are clear. So the first step here essentially is going to be to pull the slide back such that this takedown notch lines up with the slide stop. There's a little ellipse here that will essentially line up with this and allow the slide stop to come out by punching out the side here. So to do that, essentially you'll take your thumb and you can actually rest it right along this little indentation here, and then I'll grasp the top of the slide and I will essentially pull it forward here such that the ellipse there kind of lines up. And then the trick here is to try to maintain pressure so that doesn't slide forward while I take my punch and push that out. And slide stop should be able to come right out, and I can set that aside for now. Next, I'll just grasp the slide and I'll pull that straight forward right off of the frame, which then I can set aside for now. So the next step here then is going to be to take the slide and remove the recoil spring assembly from the slide itself. So to do that, you can either use the Allen key wrench that comes with the gun, or you actually can just use a paper clip, which is what I have here. You can see I just took a paper clip and curved the end here to allow it to slip into the hole on the guide rod, which I'll show you in a second. So first step here, you're going to basically grasp the slide, and then using my thumbs, I'm going to go ahead and push forward enough that the hole here is visible. And then from there, I can insert this paper clip here, and it will basically catch on the portion of the guide rod and then allow me to basically lift and pull the recoil spring assembly backward and out of the firearm. So now that I have this, I can go ahead and set this aside as well for the reassembly step. Next, I'll go ahead and turn the slide sideways, and then to actually remove the barrel from the slide, I'm going to go ahead and flip this barrel link forward, and then I can basically lift the barrel a little bit and then pull this way, and then the barrel should slide free and clear from the slide. Here I can go ahead and examine and take a look at the barrel, which, though I have cleaned it, still is somewhat dirty, so I'll probably have to wipe that down again at some point, though I won't do that right now. But now I have my barrel, again with the V8 ports, I can examine that, make sure everything looks good, and then go ahead and set this down. So I have basically my slide, my recoil spring assembly, sorry, my frame, my recoil spring assembly, my slide, barrel, and then my slide stop, and that is the basic field stripping. And then we'll go ahead and get to reassembly here shortly. So reassembly is basically the inverse of what we just did. So first I'll take my slide here, and then I will take my barrel and set this back down here. So to reinsert the barrel, basically you need to make sure that this barrel link is pushed down, and then I'll take my slide and essentially insert it such that obviously the barrel portion is on the larger opening, and that should again just slide easily in without any resistance. So I'll go ahead and pull that back until it kind of hear that audible click so it drops in place. Next I'll go ahead and flip this barrel link up so that I can reinsert the recoil spring and guide rod assembly here. So as you can see, you do have these little indentions on this portion, kind of like these little curved out lugs that essentially ride on the barrel surface here. So I want to make sure that those are face down so that everything fits properly. So I'll go ahead and flip this over, and then I will insert the recoil spring assembly again such that it's kind of sitting flush against the barrel, and then I will, once I have that in, make sure it's seated properly, I will go ahead and push forward on the there we go. Push forward on the recoil spring assembly enough to allow the paper clip to come free. From there, I can then go ahead and retract the spring. Again, making sure that it's fully seated. Sometimes it wants to pop up, so just make sure it stays fully seated. And then I'll go ahead and flip this barrel link forward so that I can reinsert the slide stop once I have it reattached to the frame. So the next step will be reattaching the frame. So I'll go ahead and grab the frame here, and then again, essentially I'm going to line up the rails on the frame with the slide. There shouldn't be any resistance here. And then once I have that, I'm going to go ahead and pull this back a little bit, again, so that the barrel linkage lines up. Sometimes it doesn't want to line up properly, and you have to kind of move things back and forth a little bit to get it to actually move. So now if you can see now that barrel linkage is actually lined up properly. So from there, I should be able to insert my slide stop. And I'll pull this back a little bit so that I can get the slide stop to kind of pop past this little indentation off of the frame. And then I'll be able to push the slide back enough so that those line up. And then from there, I should just be able to push straight down. And then the slide goes forward and stays in place. Make sure that slide's okay. And then lastly, we'll just do a function check here. So first, we'll just make sure the safeties work. Go ahead and activate the main safety, depress the grip safety, see that that is non-functional. Next, I'll go ahead and make sure that without depressing the grip safety, the trigger still doesn't drop. And then finally, we'll just do a function check to make sure that the trigger is functional. So obviously depress that, and then a little bit of take up, and then re-rack, short reset. There you go. So seems to be functioning, and that is the basic field stripping or disassembly and reassembly of the Bul Armory SASII Tac Pro 5-inch. Appreciate you guys watching.